Do you know the knock-knock from the solitary horror tales? Everyone has been scared before, lying in bed late at night, when suddenly the bedroom door opens. A figure with a vague face rushes in. But what if I told you it's real? Right now, there is something outside your bedroom door, pressing its ear to the door, waiting for the moment you fall asleep to come in. I warn you, do not trust anyone. Late at night, the sound of the toilet flushing in the bathroom. Is this sentence scary? Of course not. But here's the problem, I live alone. At this moment, I am lying in bed. The sound of the flush is like thunder, making my whole body numb, and my breath is startled to a standstill. There is only me in the house. How could there be movement in the bathroom? The next second, I hold back my violent heartbeat and think over and over again. After getting home from work, I am very sure that the security door has been closed tightly. No one can come in, let alone stay quietly for a few hours. I wrapped myself in the quilt, trying to make myself feel more secure, while taking out my mobile phone and holding it tightly, ready to call for help at any time. After the toilet flush ended, the house fell into silence again, with only my restless breathing. The toilet is a smart one that charges. Maybe it's just a problem with the toilet that causes it to flush automatically. I comforted myself in my heart, while carefully listening to the movements outside the bedroom. But a few minutes passed, and there was no sound coming. I let out a slight sigh of relief, seeming it was a problem with the toilet. Because even if there was a thief or a robber coming in, they wouldn't be silly enough to go to the bathroom first and flush. Moreover, the security door at home is the latest model. There is no way someone can come in quietly. I was half asleep and half awake, waiting for half an hour, and I was sure there was nothing going on. And my eyelids sank. I neglected one thing, a very important thing. I just considered it from a human perspective, but no one told me that there are only humans in the world, half asleep and half awake. I seemed to go back to my childhood, and a nursery rhyme sounded in my ears. The melody of the nursery rhyme was very familiar. Almost every child can sing it. Just as I was about to hum along, the next second I exploded. My scalp was numb. I woke up instantly. This song is not in a dream, but it came from outside the bedroom door. Little bunny, be good, open the door. I want to come in. My sense of fear is 100 times stronger than just now. Try not to let myself make a panicked voice. There is really something outside the door. That voice is extremely weird. Like a rough man pinching his voice to speak softly. Like a gentle woman deliberately speaking in a coarse voice. In short, it is indistinguishable between men and women. Extremely strange. Under excessive fear, my heart is about to burst. My left hand is tightly holding the bedsheet under me, and I shrink into the quilt, trying to get a bit of security. And my right hand has opened the mobile phone screen, and I have sent word to my family and friends, asking them to call the police for me and come as soon as possible. But can I wait for help? It's right outside the door. I'm not a timid person, but at this moment, my eyes are already filled with tears of fear. I can only try not to make a sound, and pray that time can drag on a bit longer. Little bunny, be good, open the door. Open the door. The voice outside the door is still continuing, and I never thought that this nursery rhyme would be full of strangeness today. Will it rush in with a knife in its hand, grinning, and pounce on my bed with a twisted posture, at an extremely fast speed? Click, click, click. It's over. That's the sound of the bedroom door handle turning. My blood is cold, and I feel like I'm falling into a devil's den. Just as I was at a loss, waiting for death, the sound outside the door stopped unexpectedly. Yes, both the sound of the door handle turning and the nursery rhyme are gone. At this moment, it is so quiet that it seems that everything just now was an illusion. My dream. And now I have just woken up from the dream. Was this a dream? Of course not. That thing must be smirking, preparing a more terrifying step to deal with me. I am very sure that it can come in directly, but it stops everything and does nothing. What is it brewing? I don't know, but I know that if no one comes to save me, then I will be scared to death. 1 minute, 2 minutes. Time passed by, and there was still no movement outside. But I didn't let my guard down. waiting for rescue while considering how to fight back. In fact, I'm not sure if I have the strength and courage to fight back. In my anxious heart, I suddenly heard the sound of the security door outside being knocked bang, bang, and the voice of my best friend Yu came in. Xiongmu, don't be afraid. I have brought people to save you. The person inside listen. We have several people here. Advise you to come out obediently and surrender with us. This voice is like a heavenly sound. Yuji has finally come. And she has brought many people. Now I am saved. Wait, but if I go out to open the door for Yuji, I will meet the intruder first. And then I will be in danger. Xiongmu, how are you? Are you okay? I didn't respond, making a mental struggle. Whether to take a chance. The bedroom and the door are just a few steps away. If I am fast enough, open the bedroom door, and then run to the door. Then I will be completely safe. But where is the intruder now? I vaguely feel that something is wrong, but I decided to take a chance. I quietly got out of bed, and secretly held the door handle. Click, when I turned it halfway, I suddenly thought of something. At this moment, a non-male and non-female voice came from outside the door. It's so easy to deceive. I knew you weren't asleep. But I went crazy, and quickly locked the bedroom door, and jumped onto the bed. The thing outside is not Yuji at all. But this thing's disguise and deception. It can even imitate someone else's voice. Fortunately, I didn't open the bedroom door. I said, where is something wrong? Yuge's home is far from me. How can she bring people to save me so quickly? Now the thing outside is confirmed to exist. It can not only break in, but also imitate others. However, why hasn't it broken into the bedroom for so long? That should be easy to do. As I thought it should do. There are two possibilities. Either it is playing a cat and mouse game. The purpose is to bring me extreme fear, so it hasn't acted so quickly. Or it can't get into the bedroom at all. There are many rumors about terrifying creatures, although they are weird and powerful. But there is one point. If the owner of the house doesn't agree, they can't get in. Such as vampires in the West. Isn't that the case? I leaned against the wall and stared at the door. If it is the same as I guessed, then as long as I don't agree, it can't get in. I still have a chance to survive tonight. Stalemate until the second half of the night. And finally, I waited for my mother to come home with a key. And the real best friend Yuji also rushed over in a hurry. Sumo, are you okay? They asked me with concern. I looked at them, as if I had just come back from another world. And I couldn't help but cry and hug my mother. My mother and Yuji comforted me, and the two policemen searched the house. But until they turned the house upside down, they didn't find anyone else except me. We apologized to the policemen and sent them out. And my mother decided to take me home tonight. This house can't be lived in anymore, and asked Yuji to help me take a day off at the company. On the way back home, I kept telling my mother that the thing tonight really existed, and it was not human at all. My mother looked at me with heartache. My daughter. Of course, Mom believes you. Don't worry. Mom will protect you. I felt a warm current in my heart. No matter how old I am, in my mother's eyes, I will always be the child who needs to be protected. It was already past 1 o'clock in the morning when I got home, and my mother cleaned up the room I had lived in since I was a child, and made a new bed for me. She gently touched my hair. Rest assured to rest. Mom is here tonight. I nodded and smiled as I took off my clothes and fell asleep. Tonight can be called a night of horror. My brain is still very uncomfortable until now, and I can't sleep after lying down. What exactly is outside the bedroom door? I will investigate it tomorrow. And why did it find me alone? With questions, I closed my eyes and started to think wildly. At this time, bang, bang, bang. 3 knocks on the door. I opened my eyes. What's the matter, Mom? My mother said with a worried tone outside the door. Can you sleep? Are you afraid? Do you need Mom to accompany you? I smiled and replied, It's okay, Mama. I can sleep by myself. Bang, 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 bang. Another 3 knocks on the door. Let Mom accompany you. I thought it was funny. The bedroom door is not locked. Mom can come in directly if she wants to. Wait a minute. My face, which was originally smiling, suddenly froze like frost. I didn't answer my mother this time, and I looked at the direction of the bedroom door like a mute. The atmosphere of motherly love and filial piety suddenly became strange, and there was silence outside the door. Little bunny, be good. Open the door. This nursery rhyme appeared again. Unexpectedly, it turned out to be my mother. At this moment, I was desperate, and I never thought that the thing could not only imitate the voices of people I was familiar with, but also change. Where is my real mother? Just now, it disguised itself as my mother, and showed me tender care all the way. I was in the car with this thing all the way. Little bunny, be good. Open the door. I want to come in. The nursery rhyme sounded again, and the emotions of grievance and fear made me unable to help but shed tears. This nursery rhyme, which my mother used to sing to me when I was a child. Who would have thought it would become my death song? The thing outside the door is still squatting persistently. I sorted out my thoughts, and called Eugene again, and dialed the police. When the police and Eugene knocked on the door, I couldn't help it anymore and rushed out of the bedroom. Fortunately, the thing was gone, and I was able to get out of danger. The police, like before, checked every room, and seeing nothing unusual, the three of us went downstairs together. Eugene looked at me with concern, and I sighed, not knowing how to tell her. Mainly, I don't know who to believe anymore. Sunu, are you sure there is a monster in the room? I gave her a white look when I heard this. What do you think? I don't know what. The police didn't find it twice. Could it be invisible? My heart thumped, and I suddenly realized something was wrong. I carefully recalled the scene when the police came for the first time, and the scene just now. My lips trembled as I asked Yuji, when you came to my house just now, were the police already at the door? Yuji nodded. I suddenly turned my head and looked in another direction, and the police officer just now had walked far away, leaving only a back view. Suddenly, he seemed to notice something, stopped, and slowly turned around. I couldn't care anymore and shouted it. Yuji, run quickly. The police are fake. It is the monster. When Yuji drove me far away, I said with lingering fear. I said what's wrong. Generally, the police go out on duty in pairs. But just now there was only one person. Yuji was also scared, and muttered to herself, oh, what kind of monster is this? In the car, I told her everything I experienced tonight, including the fake mother just now. I don't know if Yuji has any problems, but I am really helpless now. After Yuji finished listening to the thing pretending to be my mother, the atmosphere in the car became a bit awkward for a while. She laughed awkwardly, Yui. So, do you suspect me? I looked out of the car window and didn't speak. After a while, I said quietly, I don't suspect you. But now it's hard for me to completely trust the people around me. She nodded at you. Understand? In order to take care of my emotions, Yuji didn't take me back to our home, but found a hotel and opened a room. It was already the second half of the night, and the entire floor was unusually quiet. When we lay onto beds, one on the left and one on the right, Yuji suddenly said to me, the first time the knock-knock came, it disguised itself as your mother. And the second time, it disguised itself as a police officer, which means that the knock-knock man will use this method to escape, and also to deceive the target. I pondered 这件事情. That's right. Yuji stared at me. So, how can you know that I am not disguised? Silence. At this second, the world is quiet, and there is only one breathing waiting for another breathing to reply, because you have never left my sight. Besides, we are in the same room at the moment. If it is really the knockman, it would have done it to me long ago. I replied nonchalantly. In fact, my calmness is pretended, and I suddenly feel that Yuji is a bit unusual. She has asked once in the car, and now, why does she ask this sentence out of the blue before going to bed? My heart is beating a bit faster. Yuji didn't say anything more, and fell asleep after turning over. Click. I pressed the light switch, and the room was completely dark. A few minutes later, I seemed to mutter to myself on my sofa. Yuji, did you keep the phone case I gave you last year? She mumbled back, Hachanya. My heart is beating faster. I have never given her a phone case. Little bunny, be good. Open the door. This nursery rhyme appeared again. But it's okay. This time I sang it unconsciously. This song is like a seed planted in my heart, causing me to hum it even in my dreams. You're awake. Yuji was tidying her hair in front of the mirror, with hotel breakfast next to her. I just realized that it was already daylight outside. Rubbing my temples. I didn't sleep well last night due to the scare and staying up late. After a simple wash, while I was having breakfast, Yuji carefully said to me, I didn't know how to say it last night. Say it. She then asked me, Chin, did you contact your real mother last night? This hit me. Last night when the knockman appeared for the first time, I called my mother. But it turned out to be an imposter. It not only had my mother's phone, but even took me back to my mother's house. Last night I quietly sent a text message to my mother, thinking about testing it, but there was no response. I don't know where my real mother has gone. Thinking of this, I have no appetite for the breakfast by my mouth. How about we report it to the police later? And say that Aunt is missing? I smile bitterly. Should I say that I encountered a monster last night? Can disguise as a fake police officer and fake mother? She stamped her foot. Then aren't you worried at all? My mother's life and death are uncertain. How can I not be anxious? After arriving at the Public Security Bureau, I didn't say anything else. Just said that my mother has been out of contact since last night until now, and hung the missing person. After walking out of the Public Security Bureau, I sat on a roadside flower bed, looking up at the sky in a daze. What's your angle? Yuji asked me. I was distressed. Suddenly I don't know where to go. My mother is missing, and I am also targeted by the monster. Yuji sat next to me, putting her arm around my shoulder to comfort me. There is no way out in the world. Have you forgotten? I said last night. There are some people who have the same experience as you. Let's get together and talk. There must be a way. What method can there be? Yuji pulled me up. How can there be no way? I added the contacts of these people yesterday. There is a girl in the same city as us, and I made an appointment with her to meet today. Meet? I was stunned. Yes. Everyone is in the same boat. Let's talk together. Maybe someone has a way. Okay. I followed her advice. She took a few steps and turned around. By the way, I have already checked out of the hotel. You can sleep at my house tonight. Okay. After last night, I let go of my guard against Yuji, and said, okay. The girl we met is called Bai, and she has also suffered from the knockman incident recently. I live alone now. A week ago, every night there was a knock on my bedroom door, and there was a terrifying nursery rhyme. No matter I called the police or moved, it didn't work. As long as I was in the room by myself, it would come every night. Bai stared at the orange juice glass in front of her, pitifully telling us about her experience. I sympathized. I was also like that last night. So how have you been living this week? Bai sighed. I am not a local. Recently I have been living with my colleagues with a thick face, but it's not a long-term solution. I am thinking about going back to my hometown. Yuji interjected at this time. According to what you mean, as long as you are not alone in the room, the knockman will not appear. She pursed her lips. I'm not sure, but it should be like this. During this week, as long as I am in the same room with my colleagues, the knockman will not appear. One day, my colleague didn't come back because of overtime, and the knockman appeared again. Yuji looked at me. It seems that it was correct for us to be in the same room last night. You will sleep in my room in the future. After finishing, Yuji may have realized that it was inappropriate to say this in front of Bai, so she comforted her. I heard that as long as you don't actively open the door for the knockman, it won't do anything. Yes. Although I am very scared, there is no real danger for the time being. Every time it appears I will call the police. But the police came and found nothing, which made me feel a bit embarrassed. I frowned and noticed something was wrong. I asked her, "Has the knock-knock man disguised itself as a human to deceive you into opening the door?" Unexpectedly, she was somewhat at a loss as to what disguise. I told her my story. She exclaimed with "Oh my god! There is actually such a thing, although I haven't encountered it. But if it disguises itself as a human, what should I do?" She was so scared that she was about to cry. Yuji continued to comfort her. It's okay, no matter who is outside the door. As long as you don't actively open the door. Haven't you heard that song lyric? Mom hasn't come back. Don't open for anyone. We both paused for 2 seconds as if we were electrocuted. Mom hasn't come back. Don't open for anyone. This sentence that Yuji inadvertently said made both Bai and me change our faces dramatically. This is clearly a lyric from the nursery rhyme. Theft, theft, theft. Yuji knew she misspoke, and lightly slapped her own mouth twice to make up for it. I mean, everyone has discussed online. There are no death cases so far. Bai looked at us with a gloomy look. Are you sure? We looked at each other, and both noticed that she had another meaning in her words. What do you mean? I asked. Bai said helplessly. A few days ago, I talked to a person who had the same experience, but now he has lost contact. I don't know how he is now. A bad premonition flashes through my mind, because my mother also lost contact. When we left, Bai told us that she had found a new house in a bustling area, and the occupancy rate in the building was also very high. She said she hoped that she could have some sense of security. I wish you good luck, and you can call me if something happens. I exchanged phone numbers with Bai, and then returned to Yuge's house with her. That night, Yuji saw that I was restless, and clapped her hands. How about I go down to buy some wine? We can drink it tonight. Not only can it empty our minds, but it also helps to sleep. Okay, I'll go down with you. No, there is a supermarket downstairs. It will be quick. Yuji went downstairs, and I looked around the room, and saw nothing to do, so I took the initiative to clean the living room and kitchen for her. Her coffee table is messy with snacks and sundries. I shook my head. This is really in line with her careless style. I cleaned up the sundries bit by bit, and at this time, a small thing caught my attention. It was a bunch of keys. The blue card, plus a flat and a pointed key. The reason why it caught my attention is because I was familiar with it. I picked up the keys, and then took out a bunch of keys from my own pocket and compared the two. They were exactly the same. Suddenly, I felt like a corpse was lying on my back, making me shivering all over. This is clearly my house key. I have never given it to Yuji. Where did she get it from? The scenes from last night flashed through my mind like a lantern. First, the fake mother came in with the keys, bringing the police and Yuji. Then when I went back to my mother's house, when the knock-knock man appeared again, it was Yuji and the fake police outside. No, maybe that was not a fake police officer. I wronged him. He was a real police officer. And there was another person I ignored. That is Yuji. I came up with a bold and terrifying guess. Last night, the first mother and police who came were real. Only Yuji had a problem. Last night, the knock-knock man disguised Yuge's voice to deceive me to come out. Maybe it was not disguised, but Yuji was pretending. When was my mother replaced by the knock-knock man? No. Maybe my mother and Yuji and the police were all fake. No. Maybe there is no knock-knock at all. It's my mother and Yuji who are working together to harm me. None of them are right. A bunch of small keys made my heart like a river. Soon, I made a decision. Then, I put the keys back under the coffee table, got up and walked quickly towards the door. At this time, the sound of the key opening the door came from outside the door, and I was directly stunned on the spot. The door opened, showing Yuge's face. She curled the corner of her mouth and said with a smile, "Sumo, where are you going?" Huh? I was a bit at a loss. I casually replied, "I'm cleaning up your living room. Look how messy it is." Yuji put down the wine and said, No need to clean up. Come on, let's drink first." She acted like a normal person. This made me even more scared. What does she want to do? I plan to stabilize her first. The wine and dishes are on the coffee table, and the two people with different thoughts sit opposite each other. Dang! She opened the bottle cap and took a big sip of wine with me, and I only took a shallow sip. I'm afraid that if I drink too much, I will be completely trapped in this room. At the wine table, Yuji talked a lot, mostly about work and life. I responded casually, while thinking about how to escape. But the mobile phone vibrated, and a message prompt came. I took it out and saw it, and my heart was pounding. This text message came from my mother's number. There is only one sentence in it. Be careful of Yuji. Run. I can't breathe. Could it be that my mother is not harmed, and she has known that Yuji has a problem? I felt bitter. Of course, I want to run, but I can't get away now. If Yuji finds out my abnormality, it will be bad. To be safe, I didn't reply to my mother's message, but pretended to be fine, and continued to drink with Yuji. After a while, my mother sent another message to Yuji. Don't be with Yuji. Where are you? Mom will come to find you. I sighed slightly. How can I let my mother come over? Yuji may be related to the knock-knock man. If I let her come over, isn't it walking into a trap? Yuji suddenly asked me, who are you texting with? My fingers trembled, and I tried to smile. No one. No one. Oh, come on and drink. Yuji was a bit tipsy, obviously a bit high. At this time, her gaze was 可怕的事情. And she reached under the coffee table, and took out that bunch of keys. These keys. It's over. She found the keys. Will she take off her disguise? My body is ready to stand up and run away when she makes a fuss. What to do? What to do? The next second, she handed the keys to me. By the way, Xiangnu, yesterday outside your house, your fake mother gave the keys to me. I don't know why she gave them to me. Here. Take them back. Huh? I never thought that the keys were given to her by the fake mother last night. I stared at her closely. She didn't seem to be lying, and there was no need to lie. They actually wronged her. If Yuji has no problem, then, at this time, my mobile phone received the third message from my mother. Where are you? 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 Enough. My tears gushed out, and the mobile phone was scared to fly out. What's wrong? Yuji asked in confusion. She looked at me crying, and then looked at the mobile phone next to her, puzzled, and went over to pick up the mobile phone. Click on the screen. Her face changed dramatically. The content of the message is so creepy. Is it your mother's number? Isn't she? I suddenly stood up and shouted. I can't stand it anymore. What knock-knock man? I'll go to that. No one is credible. You are all knock-knock men. You all want to harm me. Terror to the extreme is hysteria. And now my mind is full of going to a place where there is no one. And I want to be quiet for a while. True or false? I don't have the strength to distinguish. Don't be like this. Yuji also cried out, and hugged me tightly. Xiangnu, I know you are very aggrieved and scared now, but there is no insurmountable barrier. No matter what the problem is, I will accompany you. I looked at her with tearful eyes. I'm sorry, but I don't trust anyone now. Yuji hurriedly said. It's dangerous for you to go out now. That thing is looking for you everywhere. I numbly said. It doesn't matter. Yuji forcefully pulled me back. Xiangnu, listen to me. I understand you. But it's really dangerous for you to go out now. How about this? If you don't trust me, let's stay up all night and not sleep. Just discuss where to go next. After finishing speaking, we both fell silent for a good few minutes. And I finally nodded to. Okay. Yuji silently cleared up the wine and dishes, and made 2 cups of tea. In the heat of the tea, we both lowered our heads and didn't speak. After a while, Yuji couldn't sit still. walked around the room, and said to me, "Seung-woo, why don't you say a word? The atmosphere is too depressing." I looked up at her and didn't respond. Yuji rolled her eyes and said, "What are your plans? Haven't you thought about it?" I shook my head. She sighed的整讨怕的事情. "Forget it. I'm not going to sleep tonight anyway. I'll find a comedy movie for us to watch." Seeing that I didn't object, she went back to the bedroom, fiddled for a while, and called me, "Bring the snacks." I held the snacks and went in, only to find that she had set up a large screen projection device in the bedroom. "When did you install it?" I asked casually. She let out a long breath. I said, "Sister, you finally spoke." The movie started. Yuji was crunching on chips, laughing at the various comedy plots in the movie. I don't think this comedy is funny. To be honest, there is no laugh point. At this time, the plot being shown is that the protagonist is having dinner with the villain on the surface, and secretly passing messages under the table. It's so funny. I was completely speechless, and said to her 拍的事情. "What's so funny about this?" Yuji said with a smile. "Of course it's funny. The villain is only thinking about calculating the protagonist, and doesn't notice that the protagonist is secretly texting under the table. Just like when you were checking the message tonight. You didn't notice that those 3 messages were sent by me." My brain exploded completely. It laughed even more happily. "Little bunny, I finally tricked you." I came to Baiyi's house in a panic. "What's wrong, 潘的事情?" Baiyi asked me anxiously. I said painfully, "Something happened. We are both victims. And now I can only trust you. Come in quickly and tell me what's going on." I covered my chest and told her about the terrifying scene just now. After I desperately ran out, I felt that I had the same experience as Baiyi, and now I can only come to her. Baiyi was obviously scared and didn't know what to do. "By the way, Yuji doesn't know where you live, right?" I asked the most critical question. Baiyi shook her head. "Don't worry, I have never told her." I felt relieved that if the knock-knock man knew Baiyi's residence, it would be over. "How about we call the police and arrest Yuji?" I nodded. "First, let's get through tonight, and tomorrow we will call the police." "But it's so good at disguising. I don't know if Yuji will be at home tomorrow." Baiyi comforted me. "It's okay. Tonight we are 2 people. It will be fine." I said before, when I lived with my colleagues, the knock-knock man didn't appear. "That's a trouble for you." "What's the matter? We are all in the same boat. Help each other." I was stunned. Who is laughing? Baiyi looked confused. Did I said weakly. "Maybe I'm hallucinating." Baiyi cared. "Rest well tonight. From what you said, you haven't slept well these 2 days." After finishing speaking, she enthusiastically led me to the bedroom to make the bed. After a simple wash, she and I lay on a big bed. Baiyi repeatedly checked the door lock and said to me, "Sleep in peace." Click. The switch was pressed, and the room was suddenly pitch black. In the dark room, there was the following dialogue. "Alas, the knock-knock man is too good at making up stories." I was deceived by it again and again. Making up stories. Yes, and the stories are mixed with truth and falsehood. By the way, I have a question I don't understand before going to sleep. What's the problem? How did you escape from Yuji? Why are you sighing? Sumu didn't escape. Sumu didn't escape. Sumu is dead. Already dead. Then there is a question. If Sumu is dead, who am I in the first person? I am. Of course, the knock man. I said, the knock man can not only disguise itself as others, but also make up stories. You can read this story from the beginning, and you will find something wrong. From the beginning, Sumu was deceived. She opened the door. Miss. Sumu deceived her mother and Yuji, and they both opened the door for me. Don't believe it. Read it again. They took me home on their own initiative. So, never open the door. You never know who is a person or a ghost outside the door. On the other hand, what kind of creature am I? Where am I now? Why, there is this story. Don't you understand yet? Now, prick up your ears and listen outside the door. Is there any movement? Little bunny, be good. Open the door. I want to come in. And